What up, Hope Biscuits? It's your girl Skitten, back at it again. Something that I very rarely talk about on the channel, I think I've like sprinkled it in here and there, is that I was homeschooled for a majority of my school career. I attended public school for kindergarten through 5th grade, but then from middle school on, like it was just like me and my work packets and then like my dad playing video games in the other room. Like I do not share like what seems like universal experiences that so many of you guys share with going to public school, you know? I bring this up because we are here to watch Jaiden Animation's video on crazy substitute teachers, and I'm actually really excited because while I did not have a crazy substitute teacher, I did have a crazy 5th grade teacher. I think like they ended up having to get like a restraining order on her or something. So I'm really excited because I don't normally get to join in with you guys when you guys talk about school stuff. You feel me? Like, you get me? But like this time I'm like, yes, I got it. Finally, something I share in common with my peers. Which is maybe not like the best thing to be excited about, but I am. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are staying safe and sanitized. I do plan on telling you guys my story about my crazy 5th grade teacher. So just make sure you guys tune in to the outro of the video. I'll tell you guys a little bit more of the details then. But I'm really excited to get into this video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
Yo, what's up, homesicles? I'm gonna talk about substitute teachers. I want to say, for the most part, we all like having subs. You like walk into the classroom expecting it to be a normal day, and you glance over at the teacher, and boom, it's a sub. Yes, don't have to try today. Well, subs are pretty cool. They don't really care too much either, and everyone just ends up having a nice easy break day. They have this attitude like, okay, so I'm just gonna pop in a movie or something, do whatever you want. I'm just here to make sure you don't all go Miley Cyrus wild and poke some kids out with a ruler.
Cyrus
but
wild.
Sometimes they don't care too much, and it gets kind of weird. Like once I had a math sub where we were just doing a worksheet or something, and this girl behind me was eating carrots, but all of a sudden she started choking on one of her carrots and was like gasping and gagging and stuff.
God.
And everyone turned around and was mortified. What do we do? We all looked over at the sub for help and guidance or something, because of all people, he should have a plan.
You were the adult
and
here.
He was just looking at her, not doing anything.
I'm
dead.
sure
if the girl could have spoke at that time, she would have said, "Freaking, I'm choking on a carrot here. What are you looking at? Do something, you buffoon!
Help me! Help!
So for a small period of time, everyone was just helplessly looking at this poor girl choking on a carrot. No one knew what to do. Finally, one guy got up and did the choking Heimlich procedure they teach us. It was so legit. He even did the "are you choking" question like they say you have to. If you haven't heard of the technique, or if for some reason they changed it,
I didn't know you were supposed to ask.
Are, approach the person and ask, "Are you choking?" Do not proceed if they are not choking. It actually says that.
I'm dead.
Get behind the person and wrap your arms around their waist. Be ready to support them if they faint. Take your fist and place the thumb side against their belly, just above their belly button. Grab the fist with the other hand and thrust into the belly. And the final step is repeat thrusts until the object pops out, or until the person faints.
Oh shit,
so
what?
The girl didn't faint. He actually got the carrot out of her throat, and everyone was relieved. And after all that hullabaloo, we all kind of looked over to see what the sub had to say about the situation.
And he's just sitting there again?
Nothing. He just watched the situation with a blank slate look on his face. Like, what the heck? What are you? I've never seen...
Was he awake? Was he on drugs? Hello? Like... Bro, like this is your livelihood on the line. If a child dies under your care, I feel like maybe you might not be able to be a sub anymore. Like what?
Seen less of a reaction from such a big situation from anyone in my entire life. You should make a reaction channel, come to think of it. He'd blend in with most of the people on YouTube doing it already. Anyway, enough with Mr. Blank Slate. I remember when I was in...
Drag me, Jaiden? Jesus. Y'all, I don't... Do I just be sitting there with a straight face like... Ooh, actually, wait, like when I did... Okay, so like, beside the point, but like when I did that, I was like serving. I was like... America's Next Top Model, like who is she? Okay, sorry. Anti-Hoosins, is that what I be doing, y'all? Do I be... No, that's not me. She not talking to me, y'all. She not talking to me, but she talking to somebody.
high school, we had kind of a main group of... Anyway, enough with Mr. Blank Slate. I remember when I was in high school, we had kind of a main group of substitutes that were common to have when a teacher called in sick or something. And there was this one old man guy that everyone knew.
Old man guy.
And absolutely hated.
High.
And before you say something like, oh, Jaiden, that's kind of rude to say, in our defense, he hated us too. Whenever a person walked in and saw him sitting behind the teacher's desk, the immediate thought would be, oh, crap, it's gonna be a rough day today. No one had to say it, but we were all thinking it. Okay, Jaiden, so what was he like? Oh, stand up so you can sit down because I'm getting started. Take the strictest person you know and throw them out the window because this guy is now that person. I think he saw himself as a military instructor.
Oh no, those are the worst kind.
Because he wanted every child to be behaving perfectly, to a T, no funny business. And yeah, that's not going to happen in a high school, so here's problem one. He would start every class with the same lecture.
All right.
Not that I know from personal experience, because again, homeschooled, but I've heard the stories, okay? I heard how y'all was getting down in the old H of S, okay? I heard. And I'm impressed.
Hey, sit down and zip up because we're taking attendance.
Oh.
If I hear any talking, you're being written up.
Oh.
I don't tolerate jokesters in my classroom. I'm going to call out your last name, followed by your first name. And if I don't hear you say present, then you're being marked absent.
Oh.
You should be paying attention because you only have one chance. And I'm not calling names twice. If I pronounce your name wrong, correct me. All right? Here we go.
Why would I feel
says
safe
that
correcting
exact paragraph every time he starts a class, and I know it because I've had him enough times to have it power washed into my head. I kind of want to believe he has it written down and framed somewhere in his house so he can proudly look at it before
he recites it every night.
And he actually gets mad if you don't correct him if he says your name wrong. I know from experience. I don't care when people pronounce my name wrong. It happens all the time. I've gotten used to it. So I thought I wouldn't make a big deal out of it.
Animations Jaiden.
Here.
Did I say that correctly?
No.
It's close enough.
Correct me next time.
Oh?
Sorry? You're mine?
Now, in that man's defense, I think it is very important to make sure that you say people's names correctly, because it's really not hard. It's actually not hard. And if it is difficult, try fucking harder. Like, you know, I'm sorry that not everybody has a basic name like Sarah or Kyle, but honestly, like, I think you guys will be okay. Like, you feel me? Like, y'all can pronounce all kinds of fucking Russian authors, all this other shit. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can figure out how to pronounce someone's name. So I do vibe with him on that. Like, hey, if I say your name wrong, let me fucking know because I want to get it right. I just don't agree with being an asshole about it. Like, damn, bro, it's not that deep. It's not that deep. You feel me? Like, I feel like if the person themselves is telling you it's not that big a deal, then it's not. But when you decide for yourself that it's not that big a deal, that's when it makes you like kind of a prick. Like, you feel me? Y'all feel me?
Reminds me of if like Oscar the Grouch had a pet lemon, but the lemon was expired by 2 months and he keeps forgetting to throw it away. Like, oh crap, the lemon. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And he doesn't do it tomorrow. So I'll call him Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon. Just for simplicity.
Oh, okay.
I truly don't know why Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon worked as a substitute teacher, because you could just see the child hatred in his eyes. Somehow he made everyone in the class feel uncomfortable just by existing. So let me tell you a story about Mr. Yet to be Thrown Out Lemon.
Please.
We had him in a biology class once, and we were just going to work on a paper he had to pass out.
All right, we're going to be doing a worksheet today. If I hear any talking, you're being written up. This is an individual worksheet, so there's absolutely no reason to talk to anyone at all during this hour. Everyone come up to the front of the room right now and grab a paper.
Mrs. Grapes does it so each person at a table has a number, and she calls out a random number, and that person just gets up and gets the paper for the rest of the table, so it's easier to...
I will not have slaves in my classroom!
What did he just say?
I'm sorry? Why did I say sorry like that? Did he just say slaves? What do you mean? Also, I don't understand the purpose of telling him to do it like that. Like, girl, if he wants y'all to line up single file and go get a paper, just do that. Like, honestly, you brought this on yourself, not to victim blame.
This man just compared picking up papers for other classmates to slavery. Slavery! Good God, So we did it his way. The 34 of us all got up at the same time and shuffled to the front of the room, awkwardly squishing together to grab a paper from the one pile he made for us. You are a fruitcake. He did a lot of other weird over-the-top things, but this was by far the best thing I've ever witnessed from him. Oh, Mr. Yet-to-be-thrown-out Lemon, you're a real piece of work.
No talking. I'm going to call out your last name.
Dead.
Followed by...
I feel like, I know it's been 6 years, Jaiden, but I feel like Mr. Yet-to-be-thrown-out Lemon deserves his own video series, okay? At least one additional video. Like, you feel me? I think you feel me. Speaking of Mr. Yet-to-be-thrown-out Lemon and, you know, talking about our teacher's escapades, I had this teacher in the 5th grade, and that lady had a lot going on in her personal life. How do I know this, you might ask? Because instead of teaching us the things we were supposed to be learning, she told us. She told us all her business. She told us about her ex. She told us about her current fiance. She told us about her current fiance's problems with his ex. She told us about her current fiance's problem with his kid. Okay, I knew all of that lady's business. I found out when the fiance's ex threatened to kill herself. Okay, and how that really traumatized his daughter. And so she's trying to bond with his daughter, but his daughter is afraid to bond with her because she's afraid of what the ex will think, okay? She would have the students sit next to her, like by her desk. She would arrange the desks in such a way that the students that she liked the most would get to sit by her desk. And then, instead of having to do the work that the rest of us had to do, they got to sit and hang out with her on her computer, giving her massages and looking at like her wedding dresses or whatever she was planning for her wedding. This is not an exaggeration. This is not a joke. She literally used to have students giving her massages instead of doing schoolwork. Like, I can't. I had issues with other students, okay? I was annoying. I was not the best, okay? But I was also like a kid. And I was having issues with some other people in class. And then she kicked me out of the room and then basically just had the entire class have a venting / shit talking session about me, and then brought me back into the room and then told me all the shitty things that people said about me, then kicked the other people out of the room that like I was having a problem with, and did the same thing. Like I had like a venting / shit talking session about that person, and then brought that person in and told that person all the bullshit that like, what kind of teacher are you? And this was in the 5th grade. Like, you're talking to a bunch of, at the oldest, 11-year-olds, okay? And then with me being the youngest, I was like 9. God, she was, and then she left mysteriously halfway through the school year, and we got a substitute. But like, she was a permanent substitute, so I do not consider a substitute. Anti-Hoosin, that's my story about having a crazy teacher. Feel free to tell me your stories down in the comments below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And other than that, peace out, Hope Biscuits. It's Skittin' Lit.